Man, if I was any better, Danny, my name would be Danny Pessy, bro. I'm doing amazing.
Yeah, buddy. If your name was Danny Pessy, you'd owe a ton of money to the IRS. Hey! But we're not here to talk about my exciting letter that I just got. We're here to talk about you tonight. And I'm excited. JC, we've been working together for a few years now. I remember meeting you at a previous company and seeing how much you've grown. And tonight we want to talk about that. We want to talk about what somebody can do to go from the doors to building your own business. I was watching a Instagram last night. Someone sent me a TikTok of Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban talked about his first job he ever had. And Mark was going on telling people, telling the interviewer that his first job, he was 11 years old, and he wanted to buy something, and his dad was like, "No, man, if you want it, you got to spend your own money." He's like, "I don't know what to do." And then one of his dad's friends says, "Hey, why don't you go sell trash bags door to door? Everybody needs trash bags." So he's like, "Really?" And then the guy started laughing. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "How much money you can make?" And Mark said, "How much money can you make?" And then uh, the guy said, "Literally as much as you want. You just got to find people to buy it." He's like, "Awesome." So he took a bunch of trash bags and knocked around his neighborhood and sold boxes of them. He bought them for $3, sold them for 6, pocketed $3 on it, and then timed the amount of time it would take to run through that box of bags, and would circle back, and he'd have repeat customers over and over and over again. And he said that was
Ah,
initially how he started his career, and now he's a billionaire. And so we're here to talk about some of the first steps people need to do to be able to get their business off and running so they can build an organization, build a business, build a team, build a downline. And we're seeing so much of it in today's society that people are just wanting to skip steps. They want to just jump into running a team. They want to skip all of the legwork. And some of you might know me, some of you might not. But for the ones that don't, my name's Danny Pessy. I've been doing this job. This is my 18th year. I've been commission only my entire life. I started off at door to door right out of high school as my first job. I moved to Seattle, Washington, lived in an apartment, 3 bedroom with 8 dudes. And I slept on the floor for the first couple weeks till those guys quit. And since then, I've been traveling around the country in a suitcase, selling door to door, city to city, and made quite a good career for it. And so now I've started up a consulting agency where I teach people some of the stuff that I've learned over my 18 years of being a commission only salesman. And it's funny, just I remember the first time I told my mom that I was going to go do door to door sales. She looked at me, she's like, "What the hell is this? Your dad runs a company. You're going to be, I'm an actress." My mom moved to LA to be an actress back in the 80s. She was on a few TV shows, and my dad started up a business and absolutely killed it. And she's like, "There's no way you're going to start that shit." And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing it, and all my friends are doing it. So see ya." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm moving to Seattle, Washington to live with a bunch of strangers." And I'm like, she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're all ran by Mormons. She's like, "Oh my God, you're going to be a Mormon?" And I'm like, no, but I bet I can learn something from these guys. And so,
yeah.
as you guys know, Mormons are the king of door to door. And so I've gotten the chance to learn so much over my years from the LDS community, the community of Latter-day Saints, because they start off their whole livelihood after I think it's 18 or 19 years old. The men and women go on a mission for 2 years, and they go out and knock doors, and then they spread the word of God, and they come home and get married and have a bunch of kids. And I've learned so much from them, and I now have a platform taking what I've learned and sharing it with the community. But tonight's not about my story. My tonight is something I want to share with you guys, JC's story on how he started and how a man in his late 30s put his ego aside and picked up a notebook, went out to strangers' houses, and knocked on their door and turned them from zero to hero within an hour or two. So JC, tonight this is about you. A lot of people that if they don't know who you are, you started up a platform. You were with a large platform before. you wanted to see more growth. So you said, hey, look, I can either try to build it here or build my own network. And you said, I can do it better. And here you are. And so many companies started from working at a smaller one or a bigger one and then starting their own and making it better. And so now that's what you've done. And you've been an inspiration for hundreds of people. And now I think you've were the largest earner at your last platform, had one of the biggest teams. And now you're recreating it and helping people do the same thing. But the thing we want to talk about is before you got there, before you had your own network, what were some of the key things that you did to get there? And the first question is I mean, it's such a wide question. Oh, what did you do to get, to the point you're at now? So I like to talk about the micro and then we go in the macro. So the micro is, what was that decision that took you from being in your late 30s to give up the stability of a salary and go 100% commission, knock on doors, and selling home security systems initially?
Yeah.
What was that
Thank
choice?
you,
What was
Danny.
going through your mind, dude?
Well, my background is actually in network marketing. So I've been involved in network marketing, team building for a long time. So, but long story short, I was with a company for like 6 years and had a six-figure residual income check. I was a man speaking on stage in front of 1,000 people. And the company sold to somebody else. He bought the company. He cut a bunch of people's checks and basically said, "Sue me." And he played the big bank takes little bank approach. So we were like, "Are we going to sue this dude, or is it even worth it?" Right? So my wife, and this is right after the crypto crash as well, 2017, 18. So I lost a lot of money there. A couple of businesses failed. I had some traditional businesses. We went from 1 year, like within a 6 month period, my wife and I were worth over $1 million. And within 6 months, we were not. Our net worth was worth over $1 million. 6 months later, I'm borrowing $10,000 from my little brother to pay the bills. So I told my wife had never worked since we were together. I sat her down with our son was asleep, and I said, "Babe, I think you're going to need to hit the field again." My wife used to sell home security, ADT, door to door before we met. She had never worked since we had been together. So this was a hard conversation for me to have with her, but she warrior it up. She went door knocking. The first month made $8,000. Mind you, she hadn't door knocked, bro. She had not door knocked in like 8 years or something, 7, 8 years. So she went door knocking, made 8 grand her first, her first month. Then I look at her check and I'm like, whoa, how much money do you make selling these alarms? And she tells me, I'm like, I'm going with you because I'm in a process here. I've been a network marketer for all these years, top leader. Now I'm humbled. I've got no money. I lost a lot of money. And I said, show me. So I go with her. She shows me a sale within 30 minutes. I shuttle her day one. Day two, I shuttle her like a couple of hours. I say, I got it. I door knock, don't make any money. The next day I door knock on my own and I make my first sale. And the philosophy for me was this, something I learned from network marketing is you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. I said, I'm not going to be as good as she is or as good as other door knockers, but one thing I am going to do is I'm going to power walk. I'm going to start earlier. I'm going to finish later. I'm going to power walk. I'm going to have the best attitude any door knocker has ever had. And I'm going to go with that. And then I'm going to make them at numbers what I lack in skill. I'm going to start making some sales. I'm going to get better. And then I started, then shortly after, I started in the solar industry. I started door knocking in the solar industry, bro, late March of 2020. March 16th or 19th is when the world shut down. And late March, 2 weeks after the world shut down, I'm knocking on doors because I got a kid to feed, a son to feed, my wife. My mom has been retired. I said, I'm not going to have her unretire because I'm going through a bad time. So I'm going to warrior this up and I'm going to figure this thing out. And if other people can make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. So that's my story, how I got into the solar industry. I door knocked for 11 weeks because I built a team of 40 people. I got to the closer position. Ever since then, since about June or July of 2020, I didn't have to door knock again because of the business model that we had. I was closing other people's deals. And ever since then, I've been closing over 115 deals per year from home, from this home office via Zoom, working an average of 24 hours a week.
Damn, dog. So you're like, you know what? I don't care what virus is going on. I'm getting out knocking it down. Which,
All right. Most people are stopped not by the coronavirus, but by the procrastination virus, by the mediocre virus. And one thing I know is that I'm not mediocre, man. I am you in anything that you do, you gotta have enthusiasm. The last letters in enthusiasm are I am sold myself. I was sold myself. And I said, if other people can make 50 grand a month door knocking, shoot, I could go out there and do that. Because guess what? That man or that woman breathes the I breathe. They have the same industry and tools that I've got. So if they could figure it out, I'm gonna figure it out.
Dude, that's funny because I remember, because you're in LA, I'm in LA. COVID hit, and I went up to Victorville to knock during that, and it was literally like they're like, yeah, we're not even buying into this whole COVID thing. So some areas you had to be careful during that. Some areas they didn't really care. I remember selling this
Right.
old couple, and they were in Victorville. I said, hey, I'm stood 6 feet back to respect people's boundaries. They're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
don't care about that shit. Come in, tell us what you're doing. Boom. So I was like, all
I
right,
love it.
cool. So yeah, so that was that choice. You went out there and did it. What was going through your mind where were you in a position where you were around a bunch of people knocking, or were you in such a bad situation where you're like, F it, I have no choice?
Yeah, no, the company I was with, good company, I'm no longer with them. I asked, hey, is there any door knocking training? They're like, no. I asked, is there any weekly trainings, ongoing weekly trainings? They're like, no. I said, what about visiting new homeowners? Because with ADT, I used to also do the new homeowner list. I said, no. I said, fine, I'll start the weekly training. Even though I don't know solar, I know sales, I know mindset, I know personal growth, and I'll bring the solar pros to teach solar. Well, because I'm a big team builder. I started recruiting the lights out, right? So I'm selling and recruiting. And we started the very first weekly training, ongoing weekly training. And we started doing, but nobody was door knocking. So I said, well, I'll go and figure it out. I went on YouTube. I studied a bunch of people. A lot of stuff didn't make sense, but I just knew, look, I'm going to perfect it along the way. It's not going to be perfect in the beginning, but I'm going to perfect it along the way. And when other people are procrastinating, I'm going to be on the field. When other people are enjoying the day, I'm going to be knocking 8-10 hours on a Saturday, right? When other people are soaking up the sun, I'm going to be soaking up ideas. When they're making love, well, I'm going to be doing that, right? You don't skip making love, right? But anyways, jokes aside, I'm going to do what other people are not willing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, that's what it is, man. Is so many people now. If you're watching this and you've never knocked doors, JC, imagine they're sitting here watching you, and they've never done it before. What would you coach them through to get their head in the right place? Because one thing that you do, and so if you guys are watching this on my Facebook group, a lot of you guys are door-to-door vets. What you guys might not know about JC is most of the people on JC's team has never knocked doors. So you're pulling a lot of people that have never done sales or never done door-to-door and network marketing only, and bringing them into sales and opening up to the avenue of knocking doors. So someone's sitting here, they've never done it before. What should be going through their head? What should they be thinking about? What's techniques, strategies have you used to get yourself ready and to prepare
Yep.
yourself for it?
Well, first of all, I think if I take it back a little bit, it depends on the business model, right? So in our organization, we're big recruiters, and about 10-15% will actually go door knock. And we're okay with that because there's a lot of ways to generate business. Door knocking is not the only way. But one of the things that we wanted to do with our company when we created is we wanted to have a door knocking division. That's why we partnered with you, right? And offer your services through us as just by being a member of our company, they have access to all of your training and all of the benefits that comes along with being associated with you. So, but when it comes to the door knocking for those people, I believe in systems. You've got to be systematic, right? So, for example, if you look at McDonald's, I don't eat McDonald's. I haven't eaten McDonald's in over 2 decades, but they're successful not because they got the best burgers, but because they have the best system. System is an acronym. Save yourself some time, energy, and money. So if I walk into a McDonald's cash register, to the left is the drive-through. Right next to the drive-through is a French fries. To the right over here is a McFlurry machine. They serve Coke. They don't serve Pepsi, right? Fish burgers are in what? In blue. Cheeseburgers are in yellow, and Big Macs are in a box. My point being is that it's a system. So we have a system. There's a certain amount of doors that they need to knock. There's a 7-step system that they need to use the same script over and over, consistently and persistently, right? They got the app that they need to use the app, and there's a certain amount of doors that they need to hit. There's a correlation meetings they have to attend, whether it's in person or via Zoom, because some people are in areas that we don't do in-person correlation meetings. but there's a system that if you do it consistently and persistently following the proper system, the results tend to start becoming predictable. Then as you get better, then the results get better. But the mindset is this: if I know I'm going to go come hell or high water, I'm going to knock on 100 doors. 100 doors. I don't care if I roll a donut. I'm going to knock on 100 doors with a great attitude. And we teach there's two things you can control: your attitude and your actions. I can't control how many people open the doors. I can't control if it's raining. I can't control if they want to buy or not. I don't have any control of that. But what I do have control over is two things: my attitude and my actions. So when you create an environment of winners, that we don't only teach door knocking or sales, we teach personal development. See, we got 60 people right now on the Zoom that we're doing this, right? So you do this a little bit different because we're doing it on our Zoom. There's 60 right now, 62 people, because 2 people are coming into the room. So we've got 63 people right now on the Zoom. We do the Millionaire Mentorship Zoom every single Monday at this time. That's why it was very convenient. You told me this time, like I would have made it anyways, regardless of what time you told me, because you're my boy. But we teach people the mindset is a foundation, the skills. Listen, door knocking, scripts, selling are skills. That's great. But if you have a weak mindset, your results will not be good. You can take somebody with all the skills in the world, but with a weak mindset and no personal development, they won't be successful, or they'll get results temporarily, but it won't be successful. So any sales organization needs to build strong people through the mindset, through the personal development. Then the skills will take care of themselves. Even if you don't teach them the skills, if you build strong enough people, they're going to figure out the skills. Now, of course, you should teach them the skills. So that's what I would say. When I went door knock, I hadn't door knocked when I started in 2019 with ADT first. I hadn't, last time I door knocked, Danny, was like in 2010 for a couple of months. So it's not like I'm a door knocking expert, but one thing I didn't know is this: makeup and numbers, what I lack in skill. I knew, is this, the top dogs are using this script? Yes. That's a script I will use with a better attitude than anybody else. I will walk faster than anybody else between homes. I'm not going to be looking at social media. I'm not going to take phone calls. If you if you knock on 100 doors, I'm going to knock on 150 doors in the same amount of time and increase my chances to make more sales, because it's the identity. And I think, and I'll finish off with this: I think it is so important for people to shape their identity of a winner. If you are around 5 winners, you'll become the 6th winner. If you're around 5 bums, you're going to be the number 6 bum. So if you surround yourself with winners, your identity starts getting shaped as a winner. If you're a $1 million earner, your identity is of a $1 million earner. Even if you lose it, you could come back and make that $1 million again, because you have the identity, your thermostat, so to speak, of a winner, of a $1 million earner.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And that's one thing that we talk about. And if you guys do the trainings in Authentic University, Build You, it's about dialing in the vision of what you want to accomplish. That's what got you in the room. The mindset, what keeps you in the room, and the skill set is what gets you by in the room. And so that's the thing, though. If you don't have that mindset, you're going to be dead. And so once you got the skill set, you went out and you did it. You sold accounts. You weren't afraid to knock. When was the thing in your mind where, okay, now it's time to team build? I've sold some deals. What are you doing right now to make the shift to start building a team? Hey, JC, you got to start your own thing. How are you going to build it? Because a lot of guys in door-to-door, they don't really do recruiting. And they do, they're not very good at it. You probably have more recruits than 95% of the people in door-to-door right now. And what are some tricks and tips that when you first started selling and you switched into team building, what was that initial drive that got you to want to do it? And what was some things that you did to really build it and scale it out?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, comp plan drives behavior. The way that you have your comp plan structured is going to determine the behavior that your people will do. If it's not a comp plan that encourages people to recruit, then that's why a lot of organizations don't really have too many recruits. I believe in leverage. You know, my biggest month I made, multiple months in a row, is over $300,000 a month. That didn't happen because of me. In my first 3 years in solar, I did 2,100 installs. I didn't do them. My team and I did them. I did 320 sales in 3 years, but my team had 2,100 installs, right? Not because I'm anything special, but because I built a team. So number one, you've got to have the comp plan that's conducive to attracting team builders. right? Because comp plan drives behavior, right? So if comp plan drives behavior, it's very important that we understand that that is indeed the case. You got to have that, right? So for me, when I got started, is this. Sometimes people in sales or in solar think, oh, recruiting isn't really my thing. And I say, BS. Selling solar is one of the easiest sales in the world. One of the phrases I coined that, as you know, is, solar isn't a sales presentation, it's an IQ test. Another one I coined is this: if you can't close a solar deal, you can't close a window. It's the easiest sale in the world. Because of that, the opportunity is big. So here's another one for you, right? Selling the solar opportunity is much easier. Selling solar and recruiting is just selling the opportunity. So I sell the opportunity, 4% market penetration. Every 1% is $5 billion that increases, $5 billion in potential commissions paid out. You got to sell the vision. And not only that, what if you get sick? What if something happens and you can't work for whatever, and you're used to making good money as long as you're closing deals? So to me, I started recruiting from the beginning. And here's one of the keys about recruiting. First of all, the comp plan has to be conducive to recruiting, right? We created a comp plan where everybody makes the same 70% profits. And then we have a comp plan. It's the same way for me to get ranked up to manager, director, executive, and national director as it is for you and for anybody else. It is an equal opportunity. Opportunity is not politics based. That is key. Cannot be politics, cannot be like Danny knows the owner, so therefore Danny has a better deal. Then what that does is eventually people find out, they say, I'm not with this. I'm never going to get to his spot because he knows the owner, or because he's at a better spot because he's been there longer than me. So we say, look, we promote from within. The comp plan is laid out, and we tell people, look, there's no picture of you in the corporate office that says do not pay this person. If you make the sale, if you qualify for that override, those overrides are going to get paid to you. So we teach people just as much as we teach how to sell solar, we teach them how to recruit. But the model that we created is a little bit different. We recruit anybody and everybody. We don't just recruit people that want to go and sell solar. We recruit anybody that wants to build a part-time career in the most lucrative industry in the world. And if you give me a lie detector test, I will pass it. You give me a lie detector test, this is the best business in the world, I will pass a lie detector test because I am sold myself. And because I am sold, I'm able to transfer that to people. And I know that we've got the best opportunity on planet Earth. So we train that and we have systems for that. And one of the ways that we recruit too is we recruit through systems. We have the webinars, we have the sizzle videos that pique people's interest. We do live recruiting webinars every week, twice a week. So it's just a part of the culture and it's a part of the system.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, guys. If you're watching this, you hear what he talks about. And so if you are trying to build a team, he does weekly webinars to get people on it. And one of the biggest things with when it comes down to recruiting is, this is one of my favorite sayings: if you build it, they will come. And it's been fun watching your team grow to such a huge group. And what's crazy is your group is so diversified. I mean, you see this, you get these 19, 20-year-old college kids selling solar, and that's all I know. And then when you come in and you've got double, triple amount, not everybody needs to go out and sell door to door. There's still plenty of money without knocking doors. My brother last year sold with me. He made an extra $50,000 part-time doing solar. Nice. Swear to God, you can message him. And so it's really cool to see. He never did door to door. He would go to BNI meetings and he networked and did presentations at the house. And he did Zoom calls and presentations and followed up and made a great passive income to his current income. And so, he never got the vision on building a team. It was a great passive income for him, but that was part of the downline, and the team grows and goes from there. So now for people that are wanting to build a team, right off the bat, they're on your team now. How can they get the message out to somebody? Like, let's say now you're a manager, you're watching this. How can you get your guys to start recruiting for you? Because it can't all be from you. I'm sure your people get people. So how do you get your people bought in, and what can you do to help them get their teams to grow?
So we have the training. I call like the system, and I call it like a bonfire. For example, every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, we have a solar sales training, right? I have my sales meeting at 11 a.m. for the local ones, but we also do it via Zoom, so people across the nation get on. Then we have the Millionaire Mentorship Zoom on Monday at 6 p.m. So Mondays are trainings, right? There's 2 trainings Mondays. everybody follows. So when they get started, there's a certification course in their back office. Then there's a fast start training. In the fast start training, we show them what the system is and what the scripts are. You got to contact your warm market. If you look at the network marketing industry, it's like a $200 billion industry. That's bigger than the NFL and the NBA combined. It works the exact same way. The very first thing we teach people is this: do not be a secret agent. You're a solar agent, not a secret agent. I do motivational speaking talks for Century 21 offices and real estate offices and whatnot, right? And I always give this example.
And at the Setter
I
Closer
went to
Spectacular.
yeah, exactly, bro. Let me know. So
You
I went
bastard.
to a Century 21 office in Norwalk, California. They had like 100 agents there, and I was the speaker, the mindset speaker. And I'm talking to them, and we're having a real talk. And one of the guys mentions that his neighbor sold his house. A for sale sign came up on his door, on his lawn, and he knows them. They're neighbors. I asked him, "How long have you been in real estate?" I think he said like a year. I said, "You obviously talked to the guy about you being in real estate." He says, "I hadn't really talked to him yet." I said, "Well, guess what? You don't deserve his business. You're a secret agent instead of a real estate agent. We teach our people, you should get to the point where 200 people know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are the solar specialist. That when they think of solar, they think of you. And guess how it starts? Make your list of people that you know to call them, and we have what we call an informed script. You don't want to be too salesy. You call them to let them know. The last thing that you want is for your cousin, and we see this crap all the time. Cousin tells you, I just went solar, just got my solar panels, and you feel like a victim. You feel bad because they didn't go solar with you because you never made the phone call. So it's the fundamentals. Let these people know that you're in solar, right? And then we have an affiliate program. If they give you anything positive, you make them an affiliate at the very least, but we shoot for recruiting people into the business. So let's say I tell you that I'm in the solar industry, I'm excited about this, what I'm going to be doing for the next 15, 20 years. In case you know of anybody, Danny, that may be interested in solar, or anybody that has questions about solar, I would appreciate if you keep me in mind. If you say something along the lines of, really, that sounds interesting. I've been seeing a whole bunch of solar, a bunch of houses starting to have solar these days. That's positive. Here's what I would say. Yeah, bro, it's absolutely crazy. We got this guy Jabari in the month of March, closed 29 deals from home via Zoom, made over 100 grand. You use other people's stories while you're building your story. Other people's stories while you're building your story. Then I say, Danny, check this out. If I send you a 3-minute video that explains a little bit, it's called a sizzle video, that explains a little bit about what we do, will you take 3 minutes uninterrupted to watch it? Then I send you the video. You watch the video designed to catch your attention. It's catchy. It's fast. Now Danny's like, dude, this is cool. I'm excited. I want to know more. Now I get you on one of our live webinars or a pre-recorded webinar, and guess what? We just recruit you into the business. You know what I mean? And not only that, like, I don't believe in just recruiting people like, come on in for free. People pay to join our company. We started our company like 2 months ago. We got 600 paying members that pay money to be a part of our company. In 2 months, 600 paying members and like 130 sales, right? And we're just getting started. We're just ramping things up. And so because I believe, Danny, that most people that are in solar have no idea the opportunity that they have in front of them, and they're confused because some of them are making good money, but they're good as the enemy of great. If you're making 10 grand a month, you should be making 50 grand a month consistently, right? But people don't realize, and I think that most people 10 years from now, 20 years from now are going to be kicking themselves in the butt for not taking this time in history more serious. America is going renewable energy. Billions of dollars in commissions are going to be paid. People are going to get so stinking rich. And some people are going to wish, man, I wish I took it more seriously than I did.
And that's one thing, JC, that I know why your guys are going to do good. And this is, I've preached this for years. If you don't pay attention to it, or if you don't pay for it, you don't pay attention to it. And so, so many guys, like I worked for a huge company, they would recruit thousands of reps and 80% wouldn't sell at all. And imagine if you recruited less, but you got them engaged and put some skin in the game, how much more effective they would be at the job. And so that's why it's like every month, if you're not paying attention, bro, you're not going to be really taking advantage of it. So it causes them to have skin in the game. And so explain
Yes.
how that works. What's the like, because a lot of my reps, they go out, they'll knock doors. You're going more virtual, you're building a team, you've got the network marketing angle to it. So both are very effective, but for the people who don't know how that works, explain to them.
Yeah. So the way it works is this. We are, I think a lot of people have heard of the company Primerica. Great company, right? I've never been a part of Primerica, but I recognize what they've done. They sell more insurance than anybody else. Guess what? They have a direct sales network marketing model. One of my buddies, he spoke at my mentor factory last year. He makes $4 million a month with an average $100 policy. How does he make $4 million a month, right? Not because he's selling that much life insurance, man. It's because he built a network. You know, Robert Kiyosaki says that average people go and look for work, and rich people go out there and build networks. So we teach people, look, what it is for you to get to manager and beyond is the same thing for me as it is for you. With 2 producing teams, you can make $1 million per year, because that's the way that we design the comp plan. It isn't like I pay you a percentage because I know you, and then you pay them a smaller percentage, right? A bigger rent line, and you make the difference. And that's cool, but there's a better way of doing it, because we come from building comp plans. So we built a comp plan, kind of like a Primerica comp plan, but even better, but with solar instead of life insurance. So now we sell people the vision. The vision isn't to sell a bunch of solar. The vision is to sell a bunch of solar and get paid and override a bunch of solar that you didn't sell. Because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself this question: where am I going to do? If I keep doing what I'm doing now, where am I going to be in 5 years or 10 years? I'll tell you where some of our people are going to be in 10 years. They're going to be making $10 million a year. We're going to have some people making $5 million a month. Mark my words. This is being recorded. In 5 years, we'll have people making $5 million per month in override income. And we've got about a 15 to 20 year run with the solar industry, right? So why? Because the comp plan drives the behavior. Now, it's not for everybody. I don't want everybody. We want the people that are looking. We want the people that say, listen, I want something different. I don't, even real estate, for example, you got eXp Realty and you got Remax. eXp is beating Remax. eXp is beating all these companies. Why? Because eXp says, we'll make you a broker and everybody has the same equal opportunity. We wanted to create something like that. That's our background, but we came from selling products through a network marketing model. The biggest team I ever built is 120,000 people. So I'm like, shoot, I don't need 120,000 people here. I just need a couple hundred. And if we have the right system, trainings, culture, leadership, we can go out there and get that done fairly easy.
Yeah. And that's the thing, guys, is, you know, when JC was like, look, I want to build this thing out, but I want to build it with people who can help grow. He reached out to me and he's like, look, man, I'm spread thin. I don't want to go spend my whole life knocking doors, but I know there's some value that you can have. So instead of JC going out and spending his whole life doing it, he bought the knowledge. And that's what's so cool, is you can go out today and buy the knowledge. And that's what you guys are doing today. If you guys are enrolling in his program, if you have my training platform, you're buying the knowledge, but it's all about doing the work. And the thing is I tell people all the time, if you really want my training to work, spend double on it, spend triple. Because if you're spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month on content, then you're really going to try to get the most out of it. And so for me, where I spent my money is I spent my 20s living in a suitcase. And so that's the thing is if you were watching this and you're on the Facebook group or in the Zoom, the thing I wish I would have started sooner was building a team and growing my network. And I thought it was all about selling a ton, but the thing is, you can't get to making millions of dollars a month selling. You have to build a team and do that. So now, what's some techniques, JC, that you've done to help maintain the team? Now you've got it. How do you get it growing bigger? How do you keep them happy? What are some things that you've done to really push to get your team to grow? Now that you've got it, how do you manage it?
Yep. So there's a system that we have in place, which is like called the PS3: peak interest, show the plan, 3-way call. So if I'm brand new, I don't have the credibility. But if I've got my buddy David and I go through one of the scripts that are taught in the training over and over and over, all of our trainings are in the back office. And I have for example, let's say you sign me up, you send me the 7-minute video. The 7-minute video tells me what I should be doing in my first 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, which is like going through the certification, learning the basics of the solar industry, going through the fast start training, right? And my job is to go out there and collect, here's a goal, the 3-4 club, three sales, 4 recruits in 30 days. 3 sales, 4 recruits, 30 days. If they do that, they made about $10,000 because our average commission is $7,000. So it's split in half because a closer closes their sales, right? That's how Jabari made 29 sales from home via Zoom in March. The guy's crushing it, right? He slowed down in April because he has so much work to do, and he's also building a team. So Jabari's on track, man, to make $1 million his first year with us, right? So, but what happens is this. When somebody gets on board, there's needed to be a clear-cut system of what they need to do that is automated. It's automated, and that way, even if the sponsor, the guy that brought him in, is a dud, he can plug into the system and still be successful, right? So now let's say, for example, I get in, and I know what is my goal. 3 sales, 4 recruits, 30 days, or 60 or 90. The goal is 30 days, right? Why 4 recruits? Because if I recruit 4 people, I get my whole business free. So commercial, residential solar, commercial solar, home security, I could offer nationwide, right? So it's a $49 a month overhead. If I refer 4, I pay no more. Plus, I'm now a broker. I'm overriding 20% of their sales. So everybody has the same 20% override, and that continues to increase as you rank up. So now you're building your brokerage, you're making your sales, and we have the trainings that they plug into. Mondays, trainings. We have the Monday trainings, right? And then we have Super Saturdays. We meet once a month for a Super Saturday where we have a recruiting event in the morning, and then followed by 3 hours. We just had one this last Saturday, right? And so we recruit. They bring their guests. We recruit them. Then we train them for 3 hours. That's once a month, in-person Super Saturday. We have another one. My buddy Sam Bean is doing another one June 1st in Houston, Texas, right? Eventually, we're going to have Super Saturdays every month in every single state, just like clockwork. And during the week, they plug into the trainings. And then we have the Tuesday and Thursday opportunity webinar. So you show up to that opportunity webinar, whether you have a guest or you don't have a guest, you show up to learn the presentation and to support your teammates, because team building is not a me thing, it's a we thing. We all show up and support, because let's say there's 40 guests, but there's 100 people. The guests don't know that the 100 people, that 70 of the 100 people are consultants. They just see, whoa, there's a lot of people here. People are making money. So they see a presentation, right? So I can bring my guest on and have an expert present, close a sale. When this guy joins, he joins my team. I now am building my brokerage and I'm overriding that team. So I tell people like this, the system, think of like we're in the beach on a cold night and we have a bonfire. The system is a bonfire. If you stay away from the system, from the trainings, from the Super Saturdays, from the weekly trainings and opportunity webinars, you're getting away from the bonfire. If you stay out in the cold long enough, you're going to wither away and die. You don't want to die. You want to get close. And here's the thing about any sales organization. This is key that I'm going to tell you. This is one of the very few things that I figured out on my own. Everybody has an invisible expiration date on their forehead. Whether it's traditional door knocking, network marketing, direct sales, doesn't matter. Your job as a leader is to extend expiration dates until you remove expiration dates. So for example, let's say I got John Doe. John Doe's thinking of quitting. He's going to quit on Monday, but I get him to the Super Saturday. He sees the leaders. He sees the testimonials. He gets sold the vision, because as a team builder, you got to recruit and re-recruit your people. You get them paid, you just re-recruited them. You get them motivated through selling them a vision, you just re-recruit them. So he goes to the Super Saturday. He was going to quit Monday. Guess what? I just bought him another 30 days. Let's say in those 30 days, he gets his first sale. I just bought him another 6 months. Then he goes to the national convention. We have national conventions once a year. The whole company comes together. We do a big old spectacle. We sell him the vision, recognize him on stage. I just bought him another year and he wants to be up on stage. So you want to keep building their vision, because most people, like Les Brown says, it's not that they aim too high and miss, it's that they aim too low and hit. One of the things I learned from my mentors is you got to dream bigger faster. But here's the problem. If you have a comp plan that is only driven by sales and you make money on sales, then the people that can't sell say there's not a place for me. But if you have a comp plan that you have to sell very little, if anything, but you can be a broker without ever being a solar specialist, the more recruits that come in, the more bills and appointments come in. Guess what? That leads to more sales. So often, Danny, I was criticized. Well, you have a team of 1,600 people and you guys did 2,100 installs. Couple things about that. 1,600 people at our peak before I left that company and started my own, right? 1,600 people at the peak. But here's the thing. You're not going to tell me and make me feel bad that I have a single mom that wants to make an extra 2 sales a year to make an extra $14,000 per year. That's an extra $1,200 a month on average. And that's what she needs. We have an opportunity for that person. The 19, 20-year-old that wants to go door knock and drink energy drinks, we have an opportunity for that guy. The 60-year-old real estate broker that wants to send his business, wants to know nothing about solar, but wants to have our mentor closers close their deals for him and make an extra $70,000 to $100,000 a year. We have an opportunity for that guy. So that's where we want to differentiate ourselves. I don't want just one demographic. I want everybody, every religion, every race, every sex, everything. That is an opportunity that, and then when you have the last thing on team building is this. You've got to have a vision that's bigger than all those that you lead. Our vision is in the next 3 years, 100,000 installs, 10 profit on average per install is what we make, and we pay 85% to the field. That's $850 million paid in the next 3 years through our organization just on residential solar. A lot of people's visions could fit inside of our big vision there.
Dude, and that's one thing people you are right with Les saying people get so excited they hit these small goals and then they don't shoot for the big ones. And so, you know, that's one of my goals that I transitioned into being a consultant, because my biggest thing is if I was able to really help the United States hit their quota of how much solar panels they need, I know I had to train everybody. And I personally like being on the same team as everybody and helping everybody grow. It's, you know, something that aligns a lot more than me, for me, instead of, you know, running and managing a super big team. So that's the big thing. Now, what are some things you've done to invest into your education? Because, dude, you dropped some freaking bars there. I was writing them down too, man. The bonfire analogy, the sell 3, recruit 4 in 30 days, that's money right there. So what are some things that you've done to get yourself ahead of the curve? What are some things that you've invested into? What are some stuff that you've done?
Well, first and foremost, you got to treat your business like a business, and you got to invest in your business. Most people say they want more time and money, right? We can agree that most people will love to have more time and more money, right? You make more money, you can invest more time with your family. That's an ideal situation. But they don't realize is in order to have more money and time, you got to invest more money and time, right? So, for example, when you told me about your event, you told me last minute, bro, the next, you know, like within a couple of days, what did I have? Almost 20 people from my team at your event, right? I call because our people know that's a culture. You got to invest in your business. You got to invest in the knowledge for people that have it, right? That's why we went to your event and everybody was raving about your event. Everybody should have your products. If they want to be successful, they got to be on Danny Pessy's products. We as a company believe that so much that we did a deal with you and we put our money where our mouth is. We wrote a big check. So all of our reps get your virtual training as a part of being reps with us, because we know that in order to be more, you got to learn from people that have the knowledge. So on the sales side, on the door knocking side, on the closing side, we're going through the trainings that you provide for us. And then guess what? When it comes to your events, we're there. So I invested a lot of money in my career, bro. In my career, I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in events, in hundreds of thousands in events, in hotels, in trips. Like, I'm serious about it because I'm serious about my business, and you got to treat it like a business. And if you're in real estate or you're in solar or insurance, you may be a 1099 agent, but guess what? You're in business for yourself. So you got to invest like a business, and too many people are too damn tight to invest in their business. And that's why they don't go to the next level. Because here's what happens. In solar, you see it a lot. There's a lot of people that are making great money, more money than they've ever made before, and that tricks them. They think they're smarter than they really are because they're making 20, 30 grand a month when they used to be a freaking waiter at BJ's before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now they're making 20 grand a month, and sometimes they confuse money with intelligence. No, you happen to be in a great industry with a lot of money, and that 20, you could be at 100 grand a month, but they're not, so they plateau. But they're confused because they're making a lot of money, and they say, I'm not going to invest, right? So I recommend that you invest the time in the personal development. One of the parts of our system is this. We have something called the 8-point system. Every single day, our people need to generate 8 points. 8 points is when you get a utility bill. Every hour on the field is a point, right? Every prospect, every affiliate that you get, every recruit, all of these activities equal a certain amount of points. At the end of the day, if somebody comes to me a year later, I'm not where I want to be, here's what I'm going to do. show me your 8 points for the last year. You should be generating no less than 40 points. If you generate 8 points today on a part-time basis, by the way, that's for the part-timer, that is a bare minimum points you need to be generating daily. So there's a launch system for when they're new. But what about when they're not new? They're ongoing. It's easy. 8-point system. If you're full-time, it's 16 points a day. And if you're fun to say, I guarantee you the sales are coming, the recruits are coming, the recognition is coming. Then, so here's what it is. You got to become core and then duplicate core. What is core? Somebody that's all in, that has no expiration date. Somebody that says, I'm in it to win it. I'm going to the top, with or without you, mom, with or without you, brother, with or without you, team member. I'm going to the top. I'll see you there. I'll meet you there, or I'll see you from there, but I'm going there with or without you. That's core. Then you duplicate. The goal is 5 different teams that have a core person in there. When you get there, 7 figures is inevitable.
That dude, you're getting me fucking fired up, baby. Oh my gosh, dude, I see it. So guys, that's one thing, man, is when you can start telling these stories and get that energy, just feeling what's been transpired through this camera is what you guys need to start pushing into your people. And what builds that conviction is the amount of education that JC has purchased and now builds that confidence. You don't just wake up like that and push fire into people. That takes time to grow, and that takes time with you getting wins. And so that's the last thing I want to talk about is you obviously invested into our event. We've got another couple things getting involved that I'd love to get some of the build network in too, that are really take the guys and take them from zero to hero. And so for a couple guys in the build network and the people on the Facebook group, you guys have heard some of these new things that are coming up. And so what I basically do is I have a training platform, but I also run virtual boot camps that last anywhere from 4 weeks to 10 weeks to 12 weeks. And during that time, we focus on our 3 C's: content, competition, and community. So every week during these blitzes of knowledge, we bring in new trainers, we put in community chat, and then we put a competition where people start competing with each other from other companies to win prizes. And so as some of you guys know, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I've got a battle coming up called the Battle for Middle Earth. And what the Battle for Middle Earth is, it's a 3-part process. There's the Battle of the 5 Armies, which is 5 different teams from 5 different people in the solar industry competing against each other. And the 5 people that run a team, one of them's going to win, and they win prizes. And that's a full month competition where every week we're doing training. Then we have a battle for it's called Lord of the Doors. So during the 6 weeks, we take all individual reps and compete against each other for prizes. And you met Jordan at the event last year. He was the one who won. He ended up doing 32 self-generated accounts in 1 month. He went out in the middle of the desert somewhere in Arizona by Havasu and just crushed it. And so he was one of the top. He won it last year. And then we have an event in Los Angeles called the Gathering of Gondor. So that's the big push I'm doing this summer. It's 10 weeks straight of content, competition, and community. And then we end in October with a big live event where we drop in trainings, all of that. And you get a chance to meet a lot of really cool people. And so that's one of the best parts that I love about my job is I get to work with everybody and I get to help train everyone on all the stuff that I've learned over the years. And we make a lot of friendships. And although, you know, you're a client, but you're also a friend. And that's one cool thing I like is we're all just normal people making a living. And once we take that mask off, we're just normal ass people trying to have fun and make a good impact on our little time that we have here on the planet. And that's what this competition is about, is bringing out the best in each one of you guys. So if you guys are watching right now, you want to get more information, we're going to have a click funnel dropped in the chat that's going to go into a chance for you to jump on the call with the team and go over some of the requirements. This is not something, if you're brand new, you want to get into. This is something after you have a couple deals under your belt. So if you've not made any money in solar, this is not something you want to get involved with. But if you have a couple deals and you're like, okay, now I'm doing about 1 or 2 deals a month, I want to get to 4 or 5, this is something that you definitely want to get involved in. So we're going to drop the link in the comments. It's called the Battle for Middle Earth. We're going to be taking this on. I'm going to throw this in the chat right now. But yeah, that's the big thing, is we want to continue to help provide value and give you guys stuff to help take your game to the next level outside of just sales training on the platform. But with that being said, JC, you dropped some freaking bombs, man. The guys are eating it up. The Facebook group was loving it. But I'd like to just take some time to open it up for some questions. So if you have some questions for JC, throw them in the chat. I'm going to throw the link down here for you guys. But Facebook, if you guys have any questions, JC, master recruiter, hundreds of guys in his downline. What is he doing? You guys have a chance to ask him right now, one of the top recruiters in door-to-door. What are some things that you guys have to ask for JC? And for you also, JC, for you investing in some of my experiences in the past, how has it been for you personally spending money and getting trained in part of the authentic community?
Well, I mean, I knew you were the real deal years ago when we met for the first time. And so I got a tremendous amount of value. That's why you've been to my mentor factory 2 times in a row, and hopefully you can make it this year again. And so, and by the way, you should ask the team if they want me to be on one of those events that you do a mindset training. If they like this info, that one is going to blow the doors off the hinges. But I'm a big fan. Listen, you are a way bigger solar pro than I am. You are way better than me in door-to-door. We all have our strengths. So I don't want to be the jack of all trades and the master of none. I am the master of a couple of things, and I'm good at a couple of others. So I bring people like yourself that know that stuff. You and your crew, your team, you guys put on amazing events, but more importantly, amazing content. So when I took my people to your last event, they got the content. On the last 2 mentor factories, they got the content. These people said, hey, this guy's the truth. That's why I always like to have you at my events. And then that I want to mention, the last thing I'd like to mention on team building is very important that we know this. It's called the motivation pyramid. 67% of people are not motivatable. They're not motivatable. 67%, right? Then you've got, 60% are motivatable, right? 60% are motivatable. 10% are self-motivated. 10% are self-motivated. And then 3% are the motivators. So you got 60% motivatable, they're up and down. 10% are self-motivated. 3% are the motivators, right? And 27% are not motivated at all. I don't invest no time, 0 time with the 27%ers. And my goal is to get the 60%ers that are motivatable to the 10% bracket. So you have to ask yourself, if you're watching this, am I a 60%er motivatable? Am I like a roller coaster where I'm excited today because this live was good, and then tomorrow I'm going to lose that motivation? Because a self-motivated person doesn't need something like this. They're going to go out there and do what they got to do tomorrow. They have a daily method of operation. I know how many calls I need to do every day, and whether I feel good or I feel bad, I'm going to get it done. But I'm a 3%er. That's where not only am I self-motivated, but I motivate others. I'm not impacted by my environment, but rather I impact my environment. How do you get there? Proximity. The people that you're around. That's why going to Danny Pessy's events is crucial. Get around the winners. I know some people that go to your events think that they're the big, but then they see some of the guys that are closing so many deals on your stage. They're like, whoa, I got to step on my game. Plus, they get the skills, right? So it's through proximity. It's also through the personal development that you do, right? You got to do the personal development. You got to read 10 pages of a good book a day or 30 minutes of a good audio. This counts. Listening to the right podcast. They say poor people entertain themselves and rich people educate themselves. If you want to be rich, you got to educate yourself.
Dude, money, bro. Guys, if you're watching this, JC is dropping bars right now. We had a comment. Someone wanted clarity on the 8-point system. Can you dive back into that quickly?
Yeah, so we have an 8-point system, and that fits our company, right? So we have an affiliate program where somebody signs up for free and they get paid $1,000 for any referral that they send to us that goes solar. So every affiliate you get is a point. Every time you send somebody a video to recruit them or to tell them about solar, right, to pique their interest, maybe a homeowner that's kind of on the ropes, and I send them a video, right, to pique their interest, some of the benefits of solar, that generates a point. Every time I do a 3-way call with a prospect, that's every time I do a presentation, whether for recruiting or with the homeowner, that's 4 points. So you got to find for your business model, what are the activities that move the needle? What do I mean by that? What are the MMA activities, the money-making activities? So for example, we also do door knocking. Every hour on the doors equals 1 point. So if you got to generate 8 points, for example, getting on training is 1 point. I got right now 67 people on Zoom, and some of my people are on Facebook as well. all of them got 1 point by being on this training, right? So let's say you got 2 points because of trainings and you door knock 6 hours. You generate your 8 points for the day. Congratulations. So in our group, we have people sharing, like Chris McHenry, right? We got David Rendon here. We got Mr. Bean. We got Angel. So many people here. They're sharing, I got 16 points today. I got 27. I got 37 points because we say 8 point minimum, but don't make your minimums your maximums because you're a champion, right? Are you interested in success or are you committed to success? Because if you're interested, you'll do the 8 points when it's convenient. When you're committed, you're going to do them regardless. So find what are the activities and give these activities to your team. This is what you should be doing daily minimum. And it's a point system, so it's easy to gather. The reason why I went with 8 is because people are used to 8. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 points, 40 hours a week. So we got 40 points a week, 8 points a day, Monday through Friday, or 5 days a week. I don't care what days. But now what we find is because most people know that they got to be productive, but they don't know how much productivity stuff they should do. And people confuse activity with productivity, right? Sometimes you can be very active, very busy, not moving your business forward. You got to have these things in place that move the needle for your business.
Dude, money, man. Guys, JC's freaking dropping the heat. And, for the sake of time, we basically are at the end of our call. Well, hey there, pal. Whoa. I got this new shish kebab thing here. It's supposed to be moving to my face. All right, we did it. So, dude, JC, you freaking dropped the fire, man. You killed it. Guys, show some love in the comments. Thank JC for killing it. JC, we're going to be seeing your champions in the Battle for Middle Earth. I know that you've already pre-purchased 1 or 2 for some of your guys. And for the guys that want to get involved, be sure to reach out. I put the link in the profile and on Zoom, and I also threw it on the Facebook. But guys, looking forward to working with you guys. Build Network, you guys are part of an amazing experience. The solar industry is only getting started. It's such a low market penetration. It's only going to grow from here, and it's up to you. Take time, get better, grow, invest in your time, get around the right people. Thank you for tuning in Monday. You guys, awesome. Facebook, thanks for checking in. JC, where can people find you if they're not familiar with you?
Yeah, follow me at JC Rangel Mindset, at JC Rangel Mindset on Instagram, and then on Facebook. If you guys are watching me on Facebook, I'm tagged here, so look me up, JC Rangel, you'll find me there.
Boom. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of the week. Get your 8 points done. I like that. All right, guys. Peace.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.